Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Manzur Ahmad Ganai, lecturer History Boys Higher Secondary School, Tral. Today, I am going to deliver a lecture for 12th class students of our institution. And our today's topic is, what are the problems faced by epigraphists in writing history? Dear students, let's understand the question in a proper sense and then answer it. The question I have been asked is, what are the problems and difficulties faced by epigraphists in writing history? Here is the word epigraphist. We need to understand this first, then we can understand the question in a proper sense. Basically, epigraphy is the study of inscriptions. And one who studies inscriptions is called an epigraphist. So, the historians who study inscriptions are known as epigraphists. Now, we have been asked a question that what are the problems and difficulties faced by the historians who study inscriptions in writing past, because studying inscriptions or the person who studied inscriptions means epigraphists. So we have to answer now what problems and difficulties are faced by epigraphists, means the historians who study inscriptions in writing history, in constructing history. Let's answer this question in a few points. Dear students, we know, as we have been studying this topic of inscriptions in a few lectures, Ashokan inscriptions we have been studying, the importance of Ashokan inscriptions we have been studying, the categories of Ashoka's inscriptions. So these inscriptions are very important source for a historian to write history of a particular period, as they give first-hand and real information about a particular period, as I have been already telling you in the previous lectures. But there are some problems as well. While a historian is trying to study inscriptions, he faces some problems. Now we have to see what problems a historian faces in studying the inscriptions. Number one problem. Sometimes the letters and words in an inscription are faintly or roughly engraved, which makes it difficult for the epigraphist or the historian. Epigraphist or the one who studies this inscription, which it makes it difficult for the epigraphist to deduce, to find out some information from this inscription. Because when an epigraphist studies an inscription, he tries to get some message out of it. The faintly engraved or the roughly engraved letters or words in the inscription make a hindrance and may become an obstacle, an obstacle in the way of getting a complete information from the inscription. So if the epigraphist is not able to get a holistic or a complete information from an inscription, as some words of the inscription are not engraved in a proper sense, but these are faintly engraved or roughly engraved. Number one. Number two problem. We know with the passage of time, some inscriptions have got damaged. Hence, many letters and words have gone missing completely. We know that, for example, we take the case of Ashokan inscriptions. These are somewhat more than 2000 years old. So it is not possible that the inscriptions of the Ashokan period, which are 2000 or more years old, will remain in the same size and shape of which these inscriptions were in the Ashoka's period. So after 2000 years, it is quite possible, after 2000 years, these inscriptions would get somewhat damaged as well. And when a epigraphist is trying to get information from this damaged inscription, it once again creates problem for him to get complete or holistic information from the inscription. Number three problem. Manuscripts or many languages have been used in the inscriptions. As in the case of Ashokan inscriptions, we have seen there are at least 3 languages in which these inscriptions have been written. For example, Prakrit is there. In Prakrit language, inscriptions have been written. In Greek language, in Aramic language, and in several scripts. Brahmi script, Kharosthi script, Aramic script, Greek script. So in a number of languages and scripts, the inscriptions have been written. So it becomes a challenge for an epigraphist to decipher or to study the inscription of different languages. For example, if an epigraphist is aware about 2 or 3 languages, he will and the inscriptions are in various number of languages, in different languages. It will be difficult for an epigraphist to study all the languages, to get aware of all the languages and study the inscriptions after studying those all languages. So we mean to say that there are inscriptions written in different languages and inscriptions, and it is not possible for an epigraphist to know every language. Therefore, if an inscription is written in the language which the epigraphist does not know, so it becomes a problem for the epigraphist to get information from the inscription. Number 4, the inscriptions often describe or explain a few important individuals and events. Inscriptions, as we have seen, Ashokan inscriptions. Ashoka's inscriptions describe the Ashoka's life, Ashoka's Dhamma, Ashoka's administration. So the inscriptions do not describe the common man's life, do not describe this many individuals and many events. They describe the important individuals, as in the case of Ashoka, and some important events. So it becomes difficult for an epigraphist to know about the life of common people from inscriptions. Another problem. This is 4th problem. 5th problem. The inscriptions often project the viewpoint of those persons who got engraved them. For Ashoka got engraved a number of inscriptions, and in those inscriptions the viewpoint is the teachings, the thoughts and the opinions and the whatever of Ashoka are engraved. What about the common people? So epigraphists fail to get a viewpoint of the common people about the age. So epigraphy, so the inscriptions tell the epigraphist about a particular person and his thoughts and ideas, but nothing can be said about common people of the age.